Wilmston from Emerald Neuro-Recover. Today I'd like to address ADD, ADHD, and OCD. Interesting mental disorders that are tragically frequent. Now it might be interesting for people who are younger than 30 or 40 years old to know that OCD and ADD, ADHD didn't have names 40 years ago. That might seem very hard to understand, but the fact is it was a much less common situation than it is today. So what are these and why are they so common? Well, we see the autism spectrum disorders, and ADD and ADHD are sort of on the low end of those. Much more commonly we see them in boys and men than we see them in women, probably about 9 times as frequently. And then the OCD is seen more frequently in females. Well, boys and men naturally have more of a project-oriented, one-focus type of brain, and that is suited for certain types of things. And then girls and women tend to have more of a multitask brain, and that's that ability to handle several subjects at once without the brain being overly stressed. And that's suitable for other kinds of activities. When there is too much brain irritation, chemical irritation from the bloodstream to the brain, then the normal control of the brain, which is called inhibition, the main activity of the brain is inhibition. We can have excitation to bring things up and inhibition to bring things down. Without inhibition, there is no control of the many impulses that the brain naturally has. The brain is ready to go into a seizure at any minute. And that's what keeps it very capable of changing what it does and being able to go from one channel to another very quickly. However, there has to be a lot of control for that to be kept under volitional or willful choosing and control. Without that, things happen that we don't want to have happen. So in ADD, what we have is inability to suppress other thoughts to be able to focus on one thing. Those other impressions and impulses don't go away. So we're impulsive, we're aggressive, rigid thinking because it's so hard to work, hard to concentrate, hard to make the words on the page come into my mind because there's so much other noise going on. That's not a psychological experience, it's really chemical. In OCD, we take that multitask brain, the ability to handle many things and be able to give due importance to a number of things at the same time, and we give them undue importance. It's like, multitask on steroids, because we cannot let it go. Instead of just focusing on something or several things at once, we hyper-focus, and therefore we go to eating disorders, and we go to anxiety and other types of things related to OCD type of thinking and feeling. So what's causing this irritation? Well, the irritation is in the bloodstream, not in the brain itself. It is the excess of fungal toxins that are in the bloodstream from the gut. So a disorder, a dysbiosis, not a healthy bacterial flora. The ratio of 999 parts bacteria to 1 part fungus is no longer there. It's changed over the years because of too many antibiotics, too much chlorine swimming, moldy house, bad diet, etc. Eventually we become very fungal, and we get a lot of irritation to our brain, and we start having these types of symptoms. At Emerald Neuro-Recover, we effectively address the fungal issue, and we see a rapid improvement in those types of mental symptoms. And if there has been medication use or just too much stress to the brain, we'll give intravenous NAD and amino acids to help repair some of those receptors and bring natural calmness to the brain also. If this applies to you or anybody you know, give us a call. We'd be glad to help.